This week I learned a really cool trick and I'm going to share it with you while we paint this peach together. And I've given you the reference photo. Let's get started. This is not the reference photo, but it is the tip. The tip is if you're going to stay in the mid-value range, say around value 5, with 1 being white and 10 being black, then put a dark object next to the object you're going to paint, and that way you can be sure that you're never going to get darker than a number 5. Now here's the object. You can screen capture this and paint along with me, or paint afterwards. It's hard to paint and look at a video at the same time, but I enjoy the reflections on this plate, and I think you might enjoy it too. So there's the picture, but like I said, I put the apple behind it so I would stay in the high key. And now, using as few strokes as possible, and that is a number 14 flat brush, I am going to paint this peach. The challenge here is that I'm in a room that has northern light, so the cast shadows are all going to be warm. Whoa, warm cast shadows. That's another challenge for me. So just pile on the challenges because here they come. but I'm pretty determined. So I knew that, you can see that the peach is mostly orange and red. But what I wanted to do was make sure that I included blue in quite a few of my mixes as well. Also, the plate tends to be a little bit, even has a little bit of green in it. So although these are, what I'm trying to say is that these are not colors from the tube. These are colors that I've already bent a little bit. I bent them a little bit by adding a little bit of blue to them or adding a little bit of green to them. Probably blue is my guess. And in order to create a less bright color. Boy, that's a terrible description. Is it? No, I wouldn't say it was less bright. I stuck with brightness, but what you can see, what I think worked really well was the bottom of this peach. Normally I would have gone into a blue to make the bottom of that peach that dark color, and instead I went to a green. I went to the complementary color, and I think that worked better. And then I planted the peach into a green spot, which is like a viridian green. And I just like that moment where they come together and the red bleeds into the dark green. I just think it works really, really well. So that was a good discovery, I've got to say. Then I dried everything, and now I've got to figure out what to do with the inside of the peach, what I call the belly button, and not overdo it. And probably I'm going to start on the plate here, or no, okay. I guess I was feeling like the white of the paper just was too stark, so I put in a little bit of cadmium lemon light on the very, very top there, but it still reads as looks a lot like white to me. Now the peach is pretty much done. Now it's time to start on the plate. So there was a lot of mixing done on the side, and I'm using a little bit of viridian and also some turquoise. Yeah, a little bit of turquoise, which I almost never get a chance to use, but and Naples yellow. So these are, now what I'm trying to describe here is that what I wanted to do was I wanted to make a distinction between the brightness of the peach and the color of the plate. So what I'm saying is I purposely dulled down the color of the plate by using a green with a little bit of Naples yellow in it, and also probably a little bit of orange too. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm almost trying to neutralize the blue in a way, because I don't want everything to be super, super bright, because if I do that, then the peach isn't going to look as bright. And the star of the show, as far as I was concerned, was the peach. So I'm using orange and bending the color of that blue plate. I know I'm not matching the plate. I'm not matching the plate to the photograph because that's not my goal. My goal is to make the colors that I've mixed on my paper relate to each other. And so far that's going pretty well. But I did feel like the white of the paper is too white. Oh, like I said before, I'm in a room that is north light, so that means I need to make a warm shadow. So normally, if it had been direct light, I probably would have put it in a dark blue shadow. And instead, what I did was I went from an orange into a darker red. So that gives it a warm shadow underneath. So I've got warm underneath, neutralized plate, and then the star of my show, the bright peach. That's my goal. I'm sticking with my goal so far. It's so nice when you have a goal, ahead of time and things kind of go according to plan. Because I painted a painting today and things didn't go according to plan, which is almost, well, half the time that's the case. All right, now I want to neutralize the background, and in order to do that, I've mixed up a neutral brown, I would say. It's either a brown or a gray. And I've dropped in a little bit of that cadmium lemon just to give it a color spot of value. And when I did that, I picked up another color spot of value underneath the plate as well. Just sometimes you'll see them. Sometimes you'll see them as you look at the object itself. Now remember, I'm looking at the object, and then I'm also looking at that red apple, because that's the tip of the day. By putting in a dark object next to my mid-toned object, I was able to keep everything from getting too dark. And that, again, was my goal. I felt that the white of the plate was too white, so I'm going to put a, what do you call it, a glaze over the whole plate, using, again, as few strokes as possible. I'm not dulling anything down here, but I am I'm not getting rid of all the whites, but most of them, and keeping things pretty simple. And that pretty much is the end of the painting. So there's my peach, and I do think it stands out because I did dull that plate down enough, and then that warm shadow kind of supports the plate. So overall, I'm pretty happy with this. So like I said, I put the photo at the beginning so you can use it. Just do a screen capture. Remember to keep the whites of your paper white, your paint's wet, mask for value, mix for color, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye-bye.